Hello everyone. Today is day 19 of our Catholic audio Bible and Bible study with commentary. So today we are in chapters 42 and 43 of Genesis, and we're continuing on with our stories in Genesis, which is the creation narratives. And so we will go ahead and read the two chapters so that you can follow along or listen in the car or just listen as you go about your day. I'm using the Catholic Bible, and this is the NRSV version of the Catholic Bible, which is slightly different from the Christian version in that there are some additional books that are within the Catholic Bible that are not in the Christian Bible. So, but you can definitely follow along even if you are using a Christian Bible, because of course Genesis is the same between both Bibles. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome and welcome back. If you're new or if you've been here previously, this is day 19 of my video series on learning the Bible, reading the Bible, and talking about it. Finding joy in every day of reading the Bible. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started with chapter 42. Joseph's brothers go to Egypt. When Jacob learned that there was grain in Egypt, he said to his sons, "Why do you keep looking at one another? I have heard," he said, "that there is grain in Egypt. Go down and buy grain for us there, that we may live and not die." So 10 of Joseph's brothers went down to buy grain in Egypt. But Jacob did not send Joseph's brother Benjamin with his brothers, for he feared that harm might come to him. Thus the sons of Israel were among the other people who came to buy grain, for the famine had reached the land of Canaan. Now Joseph was governor over the land. It was he who sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brothers came and bowed themselves before him with their faces to the ground. When Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized them, but he treated them like strangers and spoke harshly to them. "Where do you come from?" he said. They said, "From the land of Canaan to buy food." Although Joseph had recognized his brothers, they did not recognize him. Joseph also remembered the dreams that he had dreamed about them. He said to them, "You are spies. You have come to see the nakedness of the land." They said to him, "No, my lord, your servants have come to buy food. We are all sons of one man. We are honest men. Your servants have never been spies." But he said to them, "No, you have come to see the nakedness of the land." They said, "We, your servants, are 12 brothers, the sons of a certain man in the land of Canaan. The youngest, however, is now with our father, and one is no more." But Joseph said to them, "It is just as I have said to you, you are spies. Here is how you shall be tested. As Pharaoh lives, you shall not leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here. Let one of you go and bring your brother, while the rest of you remain in prison, in order that your words may be tested, whether there is truth in you. Or else, as Pharaoh lives, surely you are spies." And he put them all together in prison for 3 days. On the 3rd day, Joseph said to them, "Do this and you will live, for I fear God. If you are honest men, let one of your brothers stay here where you are imprisoned. The rest of you shall go and carry grain for the famine of your households, and bring your youngest brother to me. Thus your words will be verified, and you shall not die." And they agreed to do so. They said to one another, "Alas, we are paying the penalty for what we did to our brother. We saw his anguish when he pleaded with us, but we would not listen. That is why this anguish has come upon us." Then Reuben answered them, "Did I not tell you not to wrong the boy? But you would not listen. So now there comes a reckoning for his blood." They did not know that Joseph understood them, since he spoke with them through an interpreter. He turned away from them and wept. Then he returned and spoke to them, and he picked out Simeon and had him bound before their eyes. Joseph then gave orders to fill their bags with grain, to return every man's money to his sack, and to give them provisions for their journey. This was done for them. Joseph's brothers returned to Canaan. They loaded their donkeys with their grain and departed. When one of them opened his sack to give his donkey fodder at the lodging place, he saw his money at the top of the sack. He said to his brothers, "My money has been put back. Here it is in my sack." At this they lost heart and turned trembling to one another, saying, "What is this that God has done to us?" When they came to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan, they told him all that had happened to them, saying, "No, the man, the Lord of the land, spoke harshly to us and charged us with spying on the land. But we said to him, 'We are honest men, we are not spies. We are 12 brothers, sons of our father. One is no more, and the youngest is now with our father in the land of Canaan.' Then the man, the Lord of the land, said to us, 'By this I shall know that you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers with me. Take grain for the famine of your households and go your way. Bring your youngest brother to me, and I shall know that you are not spies, but honest men. Then I will release your brother to you, and you may trade in the land.' As they were emptying their sacks, there in each one's sack was his bag of money. When they and their father saw their bundles of money, they were dismayed. And their father Jacob said to them, 'I am the one you have bereaved of children. Joseph is no more, and Simeon is no more. And now you would take Benjamin? All this has happened to me.' Then Reuben said to his father, 'You may kill my 2 sons if I do not bring him back to you. Put him in my hands, and I will bring him back to you.' But he said, 'My son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he alone is left. If harm should come to him on the journey that you are to make, you would bring my gray hairs with sorrow to Sheol.'" Chapter 43. The brothers come again, bringing Benjamin. Now the famine was severe in the land, and when they had eaten up the grain that they had brought from Egypt, their father said to them, "Go again, buy us a little more food." But Judah said to him, "The man solemnly warned us, saying, 'You shall not see my face unless your brother is with you. If you will send our brother with us, we will go down and buy you food. But if you will not send him, we will not go down. For the man said to us, 'You shall not see my face unless your brother is with you.'" Israel said, "Why did you treat me so badly as to tell the man that you had another brother?" They replied, "The man questioned us carefully about ourselves and our kindred, saying, 'Is your father still alive? Have you another brother?' What we told him was in answer to these questions. Could we in any way know that he would say, 'Bring your brother down'?" Then Judah said to his father Israel, "Send the boy with me, and let us be on our way, so that we may live and not die, you and we, and also our little ones. I myself will be surety for him. You can hold me accountable for him. If I do not bring him back to you and set him before you, then let me bear the blame forever. If we had not delayed, we would now have returned twice." Then their father Israel said to them, "If it must be so, then do this. Take some of the choice fruits of the land in your bags and carry them down as a present to the man, a little balm and a little honey, gum, resin, pistachio nuts, and almonds. Take double the money with you. Carry back with you the money that was returned in the top of your sacks. Perhaps it was an oversight. Take your brother also and be on your way again to the man. May God Almighty grant you mercy before the man, so that he may send back your other brother and Benjamin. As for me, if I am bereaved of my children, I am bereaved." So the men took the present, and they took double the money with them, as well as Benjamin. Then they went on their way down to Egypt and stood before Joseph. When Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the steward of his house, "Bring the men into the house and slaughter an animal and make ready, for the men are to dine with me at noon." The man did as Joseph said and brought the men to Joseph's house. Now the men were afraid because they were brought to Joseph's house, and they said, "It is because of the money replaced in our sack the first time that we have been brought in, so that he may have an opportunity to fall upon us and make us slaves and take our donkeys." So they went up to the steward of Joseph's house and spoke with him at the entrance to the house. They said, "O my lord, We came down the first time to buy food, and when we came to the lodging place, we opened our sacks, and there was each one's money on the top of his sack, our money in full weight. So we have brought it back with us. Moreover, we have brought down with us additional money to buy food. We did not know who put our money in our sacks." He replied, "Rest assured, do not be afraid. Your God and the God of your father must have put treasure in your sacks for you. I received your money." Then he brought Simeon out to them. When the steward had brought the men into Joseph's house and given them water, and they had washed their feet, and when he had given their donkeys fodder, they made the present ready for Joseph's coming at noon, for they had heard that they would dine there. When Joseph came home, they brought him the present that they had carried into the house and bowed to the ground before him. He inquired about their welfare and said, "Is your father well, the old man of whom you spoke? Is he still alive?" They said, "Your servant, our father, is well. He is still alive." And they bowed their heads and did obeisance. Then he looked up and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, "Is this your youngest brother of whom you spoke to me? God be gracious to you, my son." With that, Joseph hurried out because he was overcome with affection for his brother, and he was about to weep. So he went into a private room and wept there. Then he washed his face and came out, and controlling himself, he said, "Serve the meal." They served him by himself and them by themselves, and the Egyptians who are with him by themselves, because the Egyptians could not eat with the Hebrews, for this was an abomination to the Egyptians. When they were seated before him, the firstborn according to his birthright and the youngest according to his youth, the men looked at one another in amazement. Portions were taken to them from Joseph's table, but Benjamin's portion was 5 times as much as any of theirs. So they drank and were merry with him. So there we have it, chapters 42 and 43. And what we see in chapter 42, where Joseph's brothers go down to Egypt. So there is this incredibly extreme famine in the land. And this is as Joseph had seen he had predicted in the Pharaoh's dreams that the famine would last for 7 years. It would be a severe famine. And so Joseph's brothers also experiencing, Jacob, Israel, also experiencing this famine. Israel sent his sons, minus Benjamin, to Joseph in Egypt to buy food so that they would not starve. And so the brothers make their way to Egypt. They meet Joseph, who they don't recognize. Joseph is now an older man. The last time his brothers saw him, he was young. He was a teenager. And so, because he was 17 when he was in Potiphar's house. And so the Egyptian official. And so Joseph is an older man now. He's married. He has a wife with 2 children and 2 sons. And so the brothers don't recognize him, but Joseph recognizes his brothers, and he is overcome with emotion. He decides to test the brothers and to question them, and he treated them harshly. I think it was all part of this test, and to just inquire further and get information from them. And so he also obviously saw Joseph. His brother Benjamin was not there. And so the brothers explain that Benjamin, their youngest brother, was with their father Israel in the land of Canaan at their home. And so Joseph, to further test them, says, "I'm going to take one of your brothers and leave him here." And he chose Simeon and put him in the prison there. And then he sent the other brothers home to bring back Benjamin. And now Joseph does it under the guise of, you're spies and we're testing you, and you go back and then come back with your youngest brother. And so the brothers leave, and Joseph had instructed his officials to put the money that the brothers brought back in their sacks, give them the grain. They make it partially home, they see the money in these sacks and they become afraid, greatly afraid. They are thinking that God is doing this to them because they had, they were accused of being spies and then sent away. One of their brothers is in prison, and now they have to go back and bring the youngest brother. And so they're thinking that God's anger has befallen them based on what they did to Joseph when he was a teenager, their brother. And so they head home with the grain, with the money. They relay all this information to their father, Israel, and tell their father that they need to bring back Benjamin so that they can free their brother Simeon, and to prove that they are not spies. And so in chapter 43, we see that Israel says, if you have to go, you have to go. We need more food, and bring Benjamin with you. And if I am aggrieved of 2 sons, both Simeon and Benjamin, then I will be aggrieved. But the fear that must have been in Jacob's mind over all of this, to have to give up his youngest son, because, Rachel was his favorite wife. He had 4 wives, Israel, and Rachel was the woman that he loved. And she had 2 sons, Joseph and Benjamin. Joseph, of course, he thinks is dead from years ago, and he only has Benjamin left. And now he's got to part with Benjamin. It was almost like a leap of faith, I will give up my son, and I will pray that God is with you all and that you all return safely. But they needed the food, they had to go. And so the brothers in chapter 43, they head back to Egypt. And when they get there, they're with Benjamin. Joseph sees Benjamin. He is overcome with this love. He hasn't seen his brother years, decades. And so he becomes overcome. He asks his officials to bring them into his own house, all the brothers, including Benjamin, and he makes a meal for them. He is still playing the Egyptian, of course, and not eating with them, but he gives his youngest brother there, Benjamin, 5 times the portions of food that he gave to his other brothers. And they are in chapter 43, sitting there in Joseph's house, not sure what has gone on, that they are able to sit there. Simeon's there with them and able to partake in a feast. And Joseph is watching them as they are there. And so we leave off with chapter 43, where they just, they are more relaxed. They are having this dinner. They see the large portion that their brother Benjamin has received, and they are partaking in the feast that Joseph has laid before them. So with that, we are going to leave off. We will go starting tomorrow in day 20 with chapter 44 of Genesis. I hope that you have enjoyed this reading and Bible study for today, and I hope that you will rejoin us tomorrow and every day. Getting 10 or 15 minutes of Bible reading in a day, just so important to maintain your faith and read God's word. As Catholics, it's especially important because when we were younger, we were not taught to read the Bible. And, I recommend it. I know that others recommend it. If you can get 10 or 15 minutes a day, your faith grows, your closeness to God grows. And so I am glad that you were able to join me today. If you want to listen to any of the earlier videos, I will link the playlist here. And then you can go back, and then you can come back and stay current with us. And I also have another smaller series. They're short videos where I discuss the top 5 most important things out of each of the sets of chapters that we're reading every day. And so you can catch up on those as well. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and until next time.